While illegal dumping has been a problem in parts of Oakland, residents in East Oakland say it has never been this bad.
The future of Oakland could hinge on how public safety is addressed.
A state map shows East Oakland is disproportionately impacted by high rates of pollution.
America is segregated, and so is pollution.
Dr. Robert Bullard, known as the father of environmental justice for his groundbreaking work, says it's an issue of environmental and structural racism.
I'm going to have Mr. Charles introduce himself before we go back into the objectives of today's summit.
Thank you, Randolph. I'm a man who did 31 years in prison, came home in 2017, completely healthy, strong, and supremely arrogant. I felt like I did that. I got myself in that time. But it was God directing me the whole time. Amen. It was God sustaining me the whole time. God took from me what no man could take from me. And it was actually 4 years ago that I got knocked down. I had a vicious car accident. My neck was broken in 4 places. My head went through the windshield. My collarbone was broken. And when I woke up out of surgery, they said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Reed, but you only have a 3% chance of walking again." I said, in my mind, I said out loud, "You must not know who the hell I am." I survived 31 years through the concrete jungle of the CDC system. And you telling me I ain't gonna walk again? God didn't bring me through that. That's so I'll be crippled. And yes, I am crippled. I'm crippled from not being able to do the stuff I used to be able to do. So today, it's a safe space, but we talking real shit. All right, we being real with each other today.
I mean, when you're in prison, all you remember is the last things you left. And that stuff is etched in your mind because you don't know if you're ever going to see it again. And so for 31 years, all I dreamed and thought about was getting home, and I look at Oakland like the woman I've always been in love with. And I can't wait to get back to this woman. And when I came home, I seen, man, she unhoused. She ain't got no clothes. Her spirit is gone. She don't have no self-esteem. And I said, nah, man, this ain't the woman I left. And so the first thing I did was got into community service so that I could help build people up, help people get jobs. My returning family members, helping them get jobs, teaching them how to interview, how to conduct and carry themselves in a professional setting. And then I started to work into the environment through a campaign where I met Miss Margaret. And I went to an environmental justice meeting, and like she said, I never left. After that meeting, she came and gave me a bunch of West Oakland clean air material. And she said, "Here, I want you to, you got homework to do, and I want you to join one of those committees you was talking about." And that's what environmental justice to me is. Human justice. It's not about the air, water, and soil. It's about the people. Because the people are the ones that have to, they conditions have to be right in order for the air, water, and soil to be right. If they living in dirty, scroungy conditions, then how the water gonna be clean? How the neighborhood gonna be clean? It can't happen like that. I remember after that meeting with Ms. Margaret, I came home and I told my wife, I said, "Babe, I think I'm gonna make my bones in this environmental justice stuff." And that was the first day I heard about it and learned about it because I seen the potential. And I seen that it was rooted in people. While they was thinking it's rooted in air, water, and soil, I seen it as being rooted in people. And so all I did was I stayed working with Miss Margaret. I stayed on committees because the committees is where I learned the technical stuff that the PhDs had to pay to learn. So I like to say that I got paid to learn what they had to pay to learn. And so I knew it was important that I learned it because I wanted to be good at it. Whatever I do, I want to be good at it. And you can't be good at it if you don't know how the game played. And so I jumped into the game and I found out it was an ugly, dirty game. Because agency, although they have a job to do, they want to make sure they protect their own jobs. And that create confusion in their ability to work with community in a genuine manner.
I'm 78 years old and I've been in the movement since I was 16. So, from social justice to the anti-poverty program to doing the environmental justice work in West Oakland for the past 30 years. And I had to reframe my thinking about what is a revolutionary and had to understand how to use the data and research. So the data and research gave me and my organization a platform to intersect ourselves with the agencies. I tell people I've been to the White House, to the outhouse, and everything in between trying to do this work. And I'm going to continue to do that work until, hey, to glory call me home. All right? So,
well, my name is Mike Alves. I'm an air pollution specialist at the California Air Resources Board. Specifically, I'm in the Office of Community Air Protection. I know Ms. Margaret through West Oakland as an Office of Community Air Protection liaison. And so we work with Ms. Margaret, West Oakland, WOA very closely. Environmental justice, we could write a whole book on it. There's a lot of aspects to environmental justice, a lot of history and injustices involved, especially from the perspective of the state. And so environmental justice to me means righting those wrongs. That can be through lots and lots of different ways. It can be through resources, it can be through education.
Look. Hey. Let's go a couple years back. I ain't really have a thing. We was sleeping in the car when it was time to go to sleep. Now I'm trying to run it. Look, hear me on my beats. I told my brother get a bag. I let him knock you off your feet. Bro, I'm going to fast track.
So I'm Alabama. So that I'm Obama, aka Lil O, Oakland, California. Today we here for the community event for the organization, but we here mainly to perform. But we here to support the cause also.
Our songs about like environmental problems we go to, like as like black people in general, just like problems we go through.
A lot of discrimination going on, so it's kind of hard. Like when us people see cops, we get kind of nervous, get kind of antsy. Like not even like we don't do anything wrong, but like when you see the cops, you get nervous because it's like you never know. Just because they black, they're quick to discriminate against you.
Some big issues is like the gun violence. Gun violence and then like drugs, and it starts like at an early age. Gun violence and drug violence.
People, issues in our environment, like a lot of people who are young, they get exposed to a lot of stuff early. Like things that you're not supposed to see, they get exposed to it too early. Like gun violence, drugs, sexual things. That's the problem. It's like everything going too fast, so people grow up too fast and end up getting into trouble.
Hi, my name is Donna Williams. I'm the Interim Executive Director here at East Oakland Boxing Association. We are a nonprofit. We do everything from after-school programming, workforce development, boxing, of course. We also have a food program here where we feed about 175 families a week. And we're just a community hub. So we're working with a bunch of different organizations to tackle the problem of, hey, there's not a lot of outdoor space here in East Oakland where families can feel safe to practice some, urban agriculture, have a clean energy space to work with, have the seniors feel safe, have the kids feel safe. You can come in here. The seniors can practice Tai Chi here. They're gardening, and the kids can run around here in the after-school program and be incredibly safe here. We have some organizations that come here called Blackyard. There's a bunch of singers that come here and they perform and they bring their families, and so it's the 30-somethings that can come and feel like they're part of the community. And this little corner of East Oakland, many of these East Oakland residents have been fighting for years about the economic disparities in East Oakland. There's no banks, no big box grocery stores. It's a food desert. Try to find a bank, just ATM, go in any direction, try to find a grocery store in East Oakland. You can run. You literally can run from liquor store to liquor store. You cannot run to a grocery store. The disparities are great, but it's also understandable, especially if you understand how shrink and insurance can close a store like that. If you are always losing your product and not able to sell it, if your insurance is so high that it puts you out of business, or if people are robbing your store and things like that, there's so many things that are needed here in this community. Food being one of them, resources being another. Where's a hospital? Where's a hospital? Why is it crime? What's the crime about? Why is there so much crime? Crime is usually a result of you're not having necessarily the resources. The kids that we have here come from various walks of life, but most of them come from low-income, single-parent households. We have, kids who have, come from abused households. They'd rather be here than at home. We have kids who, just have regular, normal, everyday lives. But we have kids who don't have anyone else but their parents, so they don't have any necessarily outlets. So they have school and they have home. They need someone to talk to. So we have a mentorship program here. I may have a high school intern or a high school program assistant who mentors one of the 9 or 10-year-olds. They don't look at that person as like, oh, they're older than me, they don't know anything, they don't know, they come from my neighborhood. They live in the area, so they come here, so they know my issues, and they work with their mentees, they get to know them, they know what their issues are, so they pull them aside and say, how's that thing going today? We have a lot of bullying where kids are bullied a lot. So a lot of parents bring their kids here because they've been bullied, and they think that boxing is the way to get them out of this bullying situation. Well, what most people don't realize about boxing is very disciplined. One of the beautiful things about boxing and the kids that come through the program is that they learn that, I can actually hurt you from what I learned about boxing. I don't necessarily want to do that. I think one of the issues with our funding, like we were talking about before, is our name. So, East Oakland Boxing. What does that tell you? It doesn't tell you that we have a community garden. It doesn't tell you that we have an after-school program. It doesn't tell you that we do cooking here once a week so the kids can learn how to be safe with knives and heat and using the vegetables and taking the stuff that we have here. It doesn't tell you all the things that we do here. If you see that name and you take that away and say, oh, I don't want to do boxing, we don't want to fund boxing. Well, it's not just boxing. A lot of the community knows what we do here. We want Oakland to know what we do here. We want California to know what we do here. We also host a huge event here once a year, which is our boxing showcase, where we bring boxers from all over California to compete here. And we turn this whole entire compound. The people will send on this from all over California. Boxing is not the only thing that we do, but sometimes with funding, they see the name, that can be a deterrent. I would tell people if they wanted to understand Oakland better, Oakland is not about everything. Don't always look at the news. No. Yes. Is there crime? Yes. Is there culture? Absolutely. Is it diverse? Yes. Is it beautiful? Yes. Does it have issues? Yes. It's like any other city in the world. It has all those things. It has beautiful culture. It has community events. It has many pockets of different communities that are diverse and which make up this beautiful little town. There's pockets that are not. There's pockets that are blighted, and there's pockets that are absolutely stunning, and there's everything in between. So, I wouldn't want people to think that Oakland is like, oh, it's all bad. That's just like saying it's like, oh, you're from another country, and they're like, oh no, don't go to the United States. The United States is bad. The whole United States is bad? We don't have any good parts here? So that would be crazy to say that all of Oakland is bad or it's not a good place. That's just crazy. There's a lot that Oakland has to offer. Does it have some issues? Yes, it has some issues. And then we don't want to ever discount the fact, because that would be a lie too. We don't want to discount the fact that it does have some issues. Are there things that you can, stay away from? Yes, absolutely. There are great places to go and eat and do things. Go to the lake and these incredible restaurants and little hidden gems that people don't even know about. But there's a lot of things that are absolutely fantastic about Oakland. Don't discount it.
My name is William Bill Prodiger. I was born and raised in Idaho, moved to California about 36 years ago. I founded just over 12 years ago a business called Argent Materials. We are founded in East Oakland. We continue to operate there today. Really simply, we recycle concrete and asphalt. If roadways get old, sidewalks get old, buildings come down and are replaced with new buildings, we recycle that concrete, that asphalt, into new products that go back to those same buildings and sidewalks and foundations. I've been in this industry for 35 years, and about 15 years ago I thought, I've been doing this for somebody else, I'd like to do it for myself. I have, for some odd reason, have a passion for this business. I like to say it gets in your blood, and that was true for me. And I had an opportunity to start something of my own. And there was an existing business very similar to ours where our founding location was, and we started there. And so it's been almost 13 years now. Yes, we're this company, and you might not love us, but look at all the great things we're doing over here. And I recognize that was no longer acceptable. We can't do things that we think might be harmful just because we're doing a bunch of good stuff. At one point, probably 4 or 5 years ago, we decided that was no longer acceptable. In the beginning of not just wanting to change, but understanding that we could, I think for us it was a conversation that we had a scientist on our site monitoring, and she started asking me about the different things that we were doing, and as I explained, she said to me, Bill, you're doing something very different here. You should talk about how you could create this as the norm, the new norm. And because of that, we asked the question, could we become carbon neutral? And so the answer was, yeah, maybe. And I thought, wow, I never thought this kind of a business. It's been called a hard to abate business. And we never thought that was possible, but once we started talking to the good doctor, we recognized that it was possible. And the first thing that we did was accounted for what we were already doing. And one of those things which we had switched, most of our equipment in the yard in the beginning was track-mounted, diesel-powered. All of that equipment that we could plug into PG&E or to utility, we did. And we further decided to upgrade that to East Bay Community Energy, which is generated through wind and solar. That was the first big change that we made. The second thing we did was we went off of fossil fuel diesel onto renewable diesel, R99, which again was fascinating to me that we're really burning, in some cases, reused vegetable or French fry oil in our machines. We never thought it was possible. You start to adapt a little bit of what you do and how you do it. And in East Oakland, those certainly are things that happen to us. But eventually, because of some pressure, we were forced to go outside of our gates and start to meet our community and get to know the people that we were affecting and having conversations past, me defending myself. No, we're not doing that, or we're doing that, but look at all the good I do, or I'm doing that, yes, but what about what they're doing? Now the conversation is, okay, here's what we're doing. How can we do it better? Does this work for you? Great. That doesn't work for you. We'll work on that. And that has been a conversation that you can look someone in the eye and have and sleep at night knowing that you're improving your own industry in a way that's acceptable to the community that you work in. It hasn't been easy, but it's been very gratifying. And it's been possible in ways I didn't originally think possible. We started thinking about the bottom line first. Now we think about the community first, truly. That's been the biggest difference. What we've decided is not acceptable is making our money in East Oakland and leaving with that money. Communities of color have been impacted by industry. And I am industry, and my friends are communities of color. It just so happens that we're both there, and coexisting is not easy. The effort behind coexisting has been the effort that we've been making. I would say justice is, how do you repair what's been done? How do you improve things in a way that maybe not only make things better today, but accommodate for some of the past sins? I couldn't tell you what most of that would look like, but I can tell you that most of it is in thinking differently. And that's where Mr. Charles has been helpful. It's something that's taken me probably a year to really, maybe more than a year, but to be able to understand what environmental justice truly means in a way that I can be helpful and not defend myself, be who I am, but also be part of the solution, not an addition to the problem. We are a for-profit business. We do want to be profitable. We do want to be successful. We do want to expand. But I don't want to be in an industry where I'm a pariah, where we're hated, where we're the target every day. I can tell you that's not fun. And if you can change that so you're not a target, and then you can turn that into, oh, we're actually doing great things, it is transformational in ways I never thought possible, truly. I would say there are levels of partnership. And those levels, I think, start with your neighbors, the people right next door. And so how can you interact with your neighbors in a way that improves their life versus impacts negatively their lives? That's probably the first thing. And then once you start, I think, thinking differently and having some of the positive outcomes happen, it brings other people to the table that are interested in what you're doing and why you're doing it. That kind of builds its own momentum. I think that's just local businesses and neighbors and community members that see what you're doing and want to understand more, and it kind of a positive upward spiral. Well, we do a lot of community work. We have a lot of friends. We have some people that I wouldn't call friends, but they are critics. And I think if you're hearing the right thing from your friends and you're listening to the critics, you're going to hear what you need to hear. The way that's changed for us is that we've recognized we can do better, and it's been that pressure that's forced us to think of different ways. We're doing things we never thought we could do, and it's because of the pressure. Any one time, 10 to 15% of our workforce are returning family members. It just so happens that we have an industry that we can help. If you can show up and get along with others, we can help you with the rest. That's a way that work with our community. I think it's important that you come to East Oakland, you make your money in East Oakland, but you give back to East Oakland. So we do a lot of charity work, a lot of, like I said, our turkey drive, we give away almost, I don't know, over 1,500 last year. We pick up, we'd like to keep our neighborhood clean. So we've picked up, my business has picked up about 5 million pounds of illegally dumped trash. We've done that for about 6 years now. That's a lot of trash. We pick up trash every day. We cover about 3.5 miles every morning in our neighborhood. We want our neighborhood to look clean. We spend money at the businesses in our neighborhood to the extent that we can. We can't always, we can't go to a hair and nail salon or anything, but we try to buy from vendors and work with local contractors, our friends in the neighborhood, whenever possible. My brother was just here from Idaho, and I told him, tell me what you noticed. And our former council member, Treva Reed, came to a meeting that we were at together. And she's so full of love. And the community in East Oakland is so connected to each other in a way that I wasn't connected as a kid in Idaho. And it's nothing that anyone did wrong. But people are, you could end up meeting somebody and their arms are around you the first time you meet them. That's a very unique thing. East Oakland, I used to tell people that there is a password in East Oakland, or there's a give and take that will tell you if you're from East Oakland, and that is you can say this to just about anybody. And if you haven't tried it, try it. And it is, God is good. And if you're from East Oakland, you will undoubtedly say back all the time. Try it. It's very true. It's a community of deep faith, and there's something about that pulls people toward a love that I've never experienced in my life. It's a great place. There's some really wonderful people there. I don't know. Again, people I call my brothers and sisters that text me in the morning with scripture and good morning, brother. And so, I don't know. I just found it to be very heartwarming and accepting and in ways I never expected.